Keep watching for more news on Spring Break.
And a review of Captain Marvel.
Hi, I'm Eric Meridian here with this week's sports news.
And I'm Bri Young with this week's entertainment news.
Around the school in 30 minutes,
this is the Norman News.
According to the Beverly Courier, swastikas painted in blood were found near the Holocaust Museum last week. On Monday morning, they were located near the Activity Center on the 100 block of South Gardner Street. Shortly after, a pool of blood was found in a bathroom nearby, which police believe is the same blood. Police are currently searching through security footage and investigating the possibility of this being a hate crime. To make things even more strange, a pair of red shoes were left behind with bloody footprints leaving a trail from the bathroom to a nearby 7-Eleven. We are sure to hear more about this incident in later police reports. Now let's send it to Leo with news on recent college admissions.
Thanks, Noel. This past Monday, the FBI filed charges against 50 individuals involved in a college admissions scheme. The suspects allegedly paid millions to bribe SAT test administrators, coaches, and even test takers, all in order to improve their child's chance of getting into an Ivy League school. The charges have not only uncovered a multitude of other criminal activities surrounding college admissions, but has inspired a conversation nationwide over whether the results of the SAT are valid enough to be compared with a student's GPA. The case has created a storm of complaints directed at the College Board for not recognizing what some call an unfair playing field, where some can pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to improve their scores, or others can barely pay the test fee. Either way, the entire nation will be watching eagerly to establish whether this incident was an isolated event or is part of something much bigger. Now to Eric with sports.
Thanks, Leo. Last week, the first Champions League round of 16 games were played. First, Ajax, a Dutch team, was playing Real Madrid away from home after losing 2-1 in the home leg. Everyone thought Ajax was down and out, as on paper Real Madrid's squad is much stronger than Ajax's, and they had the advantage going into the home leg. However, Ajax shocked the world by beating Real Madrid 4-1 away from home, sending them to the next round with a 3-5 aggregate score from the two games. This means that Real Madrid won't be getting a fourth Champions League trophy in a row. Elsewhere, Manchester United was playing away against Paris Saint-Germain. Manchester United lost to PSG 2-0 at home, and they also found a way to turn the tie around. Away from home, Manchester United was expected to not make it to the next round. However, Manchester United won and scored a controversial penalty in the last seconds of the game to make it 3-1 on the night and 3-3 on aggregate. Manchester United went through on the away goals tiebreaker since they scored more away goals. A heartbreaking way for PSG to go out. Now to Genevieve with more sports.
Thanks, Eric. LeBron James moved past Michael Jordan into fourth place on the NBA's career scoring list Wednesday night. The Los Angeles Lakers superstar scored his 32,293rd point on a driving layup in the second quarter against the Denver Nuggets, getting fouled in the act and hitting the ensuing free throw. This achievement was particularly special to James, who grew up in Ohio idolizing Jordan. James tweeted his excitement about the milestone shortly before the game, quoting, "Can't even front. This is going to be unreal. Wow, man." Let's see what else James has in store for us this season. Now to Kayla with fashion.
Thanks, Genevieve. Recently on Instagram, Cardi B posted a bunch of pictures of herself in designer outfits. The most recent was an all-Chanel look with a Chanel hat, a Chanel collared crop top, and 2 Chanel bags hanging from her Chanel belt. This outfit was all in black and white, and she painted her nails blue for a pop of color. The next fit was Balenciaga inspired, with a Balenciaga windbreaker, black and green dress, bright green Balenciaga shoes, and to top it off, a black Balenciaga fanny pack. That's all for this week. Now to Bri with entertainment news.
Thanks, Kayla. Well, Captain Marvel did better at the box office than most people suspected. Captain Marvel's box office numbers are in, and they're good. Very, very good. Variety reports that the film took in $455 million worldwide in its opening weekend for the 6th biggest global debut ever. That number includes the $153 million the film earned in North America, a figure that was well above projections for the film, which estimated it would bring in about $125 million in its first weekend. Captain Marvel ranks as the second biggest launch for a superhero movie worldwide, just behind Avengers: Infinity War. Disney's film finally settled the score on one of Hollywood's biggest misconceptions. Female superheroes can hold their own at the box office. That's the biggest takeaway from the opening weekend of Captain Marvel, which was the studio's first comic book movie to put the spotlight on a female heroine. Now passing it on to Riley.
Thanks, Bri. Famous singer Jennifer Lopez and famous baseball player Alex Rodriguez are finally engaged. The news got out last Saturday on Instagram when Rodriguez took a picture of the $1 million diamond ring on J-Lo's finger and captioned it, "She said yes." Wow, that's exciting news. Now to Tatiana's movie review on Captain Marvel.
Thanks, Riley. To celebrate Women's History Month, you should watch Captain Marvel, where the main character/superhero is played by a woman. Captain Marvel is set in the 1990s, and it follows the journey of Carol Danvers as she becomes one of the universe's most powerful heroes. Follow along her adventure by watching this movie. Enjoy the movie.
Is coming up. A lot of people are getting ready to build this giant library for Logan Elementary School, and we have been very, very successful.
Yeah, how many books did they bring in?
Nearly 3,000, when our original goal was 2,000 books. And so we're now at a point where we're actually having to send out reminders for people to no longer send books.
Oh, that's crazy. And when is the trip when they're getting all the books to Logan Elementary?
Well, March 30th, Teen BHF, along with several volunteer organizations, are going to come together, drive to Logan Elementary School. We're going to build a library, we're going to paint it, we're going to organize all the books, and we'll probably be volunteering with some of the students that are there.
Well, we'll definitely be looking forward to that.
We sure will.
Now let's go to health with Eva.
Thanks, guys. A woman in Rockland County hadn't told her obstetrician that she had fever and rash, two key signs of a measles infection. A member of the Orthodox Jewish community there, she went into premature labor at 34 weeks, possibly as a result of her infection. Her baby was born with measles and spent his first 10 days in the neonatal intensive care unit. When young children contract measles, their health can be affected. This possibly includes seizures or hearing and vision problems. New York State's outbreaks, which began last October, have gone on longer and infected more people than any other current outbreak nationwide. More than 275 cases of the disease have been confirmed statewide through the first week of March. Now let's send it to Jasmine with World News.
Thanks, Eva. According to 2012 statistics, Claire's has 3,469 stores in 36 countries, 1,947 in North America, and 1,141 in Europe. So, Claire's isn't only located in the United States. When having so many stores, that means that the company's products are being sold around the world. Well, if you or your sibling bought makeup products from Claire's, they might want to return them because Claire's makeup products contain asbestos according to FDA test results. Consumers have been warned about this safety alert against Claire's eyeshadows, compact powder, and contour palette, considering that these products tested positive for asbestos. Considering that cosmetics products don't have to be registered with the FDA, legally Claire's doesn't have to recall the makeup products. So the FDA is trying to warn consumers, considering that Claire's refused to comply with the FDA's request to recall the items. Instead, Claire's happened to remove the products out of stores out of the abundance of caution. They also removed any other talc-based products. Well, if you know someone with any of these products, make sure to let them know. Now let's send it to Sophie with national news as we get ready for our next stop on our world tour.
Thanks, Jasmine. President Trump is apparently tired of switching the clocks and tweeted that he's okay with making daylight savings time permanent. In other words, enough with the clock changing. The president's tweet came at the start of 2019's daylight savings time, which begins each year on the second Sunday in March, starting at 2 a.m. Changing the clocks forward means everyone loses an hour of sleep. The president would need to work with Congress in order to repeal the 1966 Johnson-era law. His Monday morning tweet seemed to signal that should such a proposal make it to his desk, he would do so. Let's send it to Riley with the restaurant review.
Thanks, Sophie. This week's restaurant is Izakaya. Izakaya has some amazing food and is definitely a hit. I recommend the spicy tuna crispy rice, yellowtail with jalapeno, albacore with crispy onions, and a regular spicy tuna cut roll with so much more. You should definitely stop by. You'll thank me later. Now to Nathan with technology.
Thanks, Riley. Microsoft Surface Pro 6 is now on the market at a great price, starting at $800. It is one of the lightest of the most popular laptops out there, and it is made by a well-known and trusted brand. It now has the 8th generation Intel Core processor, making it faster than ever. Also, Windows 10 is a software built into this magnificent product. You can buy it at its retail price, or you can pay monthly for it after buying it off of Microsoft.com. Make sure to check this out, and now we're going to pass it on to Jonah with some news on medical technology.
Thanks, Nathan. A team of physicists have demonstrated the potential for oncology of an imaging technique based only on the physical properties of tumors. It can differentiate populations of malignant cells and monitor how effective an anti-cancer treatment is. These results should help in the design of new therapeutic molecules and in the personalization of treatments. Despite a good understanding of the biology of cancer, 90% of experimental drugs fail during clinical trials. It is also increasingly suspected that the mechanical properties of tumors influence disease progression. Although we can evaluate tumors globally, it is more difficult to measure deep down and to see whether the core of the tumor resists the penetration of therapeutic liquids. Now to Jasmine with opinion.
Delivered end-of-life news to a 78-year-old patient by a robotic machine. The machine was used to tell the patient and his granddaughter that they had run out of effective treatments for the patient's chronic lung disease. The patient's daughter stated, "If you're coming to tell us normal news, that's fine. But if you're coming to tell us that there's no lung left, and we want to put you on a morphine drip until you die, it should be done by a human being and not by a machine." To be honest, I completely agree with her. A doctor sending out a robot instead of telling the patient himself that he is going to die is completely unethical. The fact that the doctor can't take 5 minutes out of his day to tell a patient he's going to die is just wrong. Technology is changing our future, and it's definitely not for the better. Now let's send it back to Noelle.
Thanks, Jasmine. As acceptances to colleges are getting more and more competitive, many schools are taking more measures to ensure that their students are completely prepared for the application process, including Beverly. For the first time, Beverly will be providing SAT without paid-off SAT administrators for all juniors free of charge. The SAT will take place on March 27th, simultaneously with the pre-SAT that sophomores will be taking. The test will begin promptly at 8 a.m., so juniors, make sure to come prepared with a number 2 pencil and a calculator. If you've been preparing for a long time, then you should do fine. But if you haven't, don't sweat it. If you don't do well in this one, it's okay because you have another opportunity to take it again. You certainly don't want to take your first one, though, a week before your application deadlines. Now, let's send it back to Leo.
Thanks, Noelle. Seniors, the College Center would like to remind students to not only keep tabs on their admissions decisions and results, but to keep in contact with colleges they have an interest in attending. Spring break is the perfect opportunity to schedule campus visits, meet with school alumni, or even take a virtual tour. At the end of the break, students should start to anticipate where they will be attending in the fall. Thanks for watching.
Tune in next week for more
Norman News.